Robert Kiyosaki began by saying, "Markets go up and market has gone down." Now, what he had learned about history in school was happening in real life. It's coming down. Then we're heading into depression, and then into a revolution. Truthfully, this is all you need to know about Marx, Lenin, Mao, Stalin, and Hitler. Marx had one thing since it was the end of private property. In other words, we could own nothing. So, they want to seize all of our property and turn it over to the government. That's why communism and Marxism textbooks always emphasize the importance of a centralized government and economy. In military terminology, it's termed command and control in the military school. Therefore, as a centrally planned economy in which citizens are told what to do. So that's why the Federal Reserve Bank is part of a communist. Because our educational system is fundamentally Marxist. The vast majority of our school instructors are Marxist as well. The only difference is that they are unaware of their ideology. It is difficult to say that a central bank is a Marx if you study Marx, Lenin, Stalin, Hitler, and Mao. Lenin said that if you want to destroy the economy and capitalism, you need to buy money. Nixon removed the dollar from the gold standard in 1971, just before Robert went to Vietnam. However, they don't teach you that, and we can see that our system is communist. That is in 1971, just before Robert went to Vietnam. He served his country by going to Vietnam twice and fighting in the war there. While he was away at the military academy, his family was detained in one of the internment camps. Even though he is a billionaire, he has a lot of debt. The reason for this is that he is in debt, which is also the reason for his incredible wealth. Thus, he is able to take advantage of tax incentives for borrowing money. Because if you knew how to manage debt, you wouldn't put the dollar you have in your hand in the bank. For this reason, schools don't teach financial education because if they did, students wouldn't save money. He would suggest avoiding paying taxes on the money while borrowing it so that he can invest it and increase his wealth. Everyone is under the impression that it is real estate stocks. It was in 1974, just after Nixon took the dollar off of the gold standard, and then the economy could boom through the stock market. If you study history in that year, you will learn that it was an act called the IRS Act, also known as the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, that led to something called the 401k. Robert Kiyosaki has stated that he won't need to purchase stocks since he will create his own stocks because this is how capitalists operate. The more money that he borrows, the lower his overall tax burden will be. To illustrate this point, let's imagine you find a commercial building on the market and decide to purchase it for $1 million. Mainly due to the fact that most guys would sell it for up to $10 million. The minute you sell it on a basis of 1 million to a basis of 10, then he will have a capital gain of $9 million. Nevertheless, he chooses not to sell it because of this possibility. As soon as you make a sale as a lawyer, a taxable and capital event will have already been completed by you. Therefore, Robert's standard practice is to increase the price of the property by a factor of 10 once he has purchased it for $1 million. He will borrow $5 million and not pay taxes on it. Right now, we are in a depression. A recession is when growth slows by 2/3, but a depression is when growth isn't as good as it could be. So we could say that your GDP should be 4%, but it's only 2%, which is a sign of depression. People don't know what happened in the past on September 17, 2019, when the repo market crashed. Most people don't know what the repo market was. The last crash on the repo market happened in 2008. Robert Kiyosaki refers to it as the pawn shop, and the name of the business is Repo Market. It's the place where people go to get the Federal Reserve to start sending money to commercial banks like the one in America. And as a result of the empty bank accounts, the Bank of America has begun injecting money into the financial system. When Lehman Brothers failed, this was the root cause since the company lacked sufficient liquid assets. The year 2008 and 2019 served as a repo, and the events that took place in 2021 served as a reverse repo. The funds eventually started to be transferred from the banks to the Federal Reserve. It is an indication that commercial banks do not have faith in their assets and that it is uncertain. Evaluation is a term for this process. They started to ponder what an accurate appraisal of our supposedly valuable assets might look like. Therefore, the money started flowing out of commercial banks like Bank of America and Wells Fargo and back into the Fed because commercial banks would prefer to have their money at the Fed than in the marketplace. This is because the Fed offers a higher interest rate on deposits. We have to keep an eye on how money moves. He is betting $1 million that if you ask 100 people what the repo market is, less than 50 of them will know what it means. That's not a mistake, and it's not an accusation against the sentence. It is an accusation against the school system. It's a crime. The only reason they gave all that money to the